Hi, this is David Wishart. Um, I'm out in the studio and I'm making a little progress today, I think, a little bit. I wanted to talk today about when you lose someone like your husband or your wife, you become vulnerable. Also, I like tango music. I don't know why. I do know why. So tango music and vulnerability. I think that's what I'm going to talk about real quick. When I first met my husband, I had recently returned from working in Mexico teaching windsurfing. And in Mexican music, there's kind of a German rhythm, a kind of an umpapa beat to things. And I grew to really like the accordion. And so before we went to Mexico again, right after we met, I had this little severance check from my last engineering gig. And John said, I go, what do we do with this little bit of money? And it wasn't very much. And he said, let's go buy a used Volkswagen pop-up camper and go to Baja for the winter. And okay. He had seen an old one, 1978 pop-up, and bright orange, kind of the classic Volkswagen. And the Dalles, which is a town upriver a ways. And we went and we bought it, and he knew where we were going to go, because I had told him about it, and there would be no electricity and no phones, and we would have to bicycle to the town square to the pump to get water, and we would live in the arroyo by the sea, and solar showers and bathe in the ocean. But I wanted to take a Victrola with me. I wanted to find a Victrola, and I thought, well, there's just no way we're not going to find one. But sure enough, we were in a thrift store, and John saw this suitcase-looking thing with a crank coming out the side, and he knew right away. He said, "Oh, it's a portable mechanical record player." And they play 78s, and at the same thrift store, we just bought a stack of these heavy 78s. We carried so much weight in that Volkswagen, way too much weight. But in this stack of these 78 albums were lots of tango music. And so with the 78 record and the mechanical crank up, and the lid opened to create kind of the speaker, and so it sounded like an old recording should, and it was just something magical about having music on a very remote beach and not using any energy other than mechanical energy. You had to change the needles often, but anyhow, that's where we became fond of accordion music and tango, and it was kind of cool to see that accordion music became popular in dance music not too long ago. It had this resurgence in electronic dance or EDM music. So I guess it's redundant, isn't it? EDM music. Anyhow, this cohort people realize it's an interesting sound. Anyhow, vulnerability. So that was the upside. The downside is I'm really easily confused, and I think I'm not special. I think anybody that's lost someone really dear to them, their husband or their wife, it's different. A sibling, a parent, those are all different losses. This is different. Losing a child must be very different. So it's unique, but because you're half of you, your other half of your team is gone, and part of what your team did was keep each other safe. And I had tried to find real socialization. I live in the state of Oregon, which is considered a progressive state, and I thought, surely I'm going to find a sexual minorities grief group to be able to go, even if, especially, I'll drive to Portland. But no. The closest thing anybody could find was an online organization through this group called Legacy Connect, and they would have a little category called LGBTQ grief support. And this very austere clinical psychologist. She actually had a Swiss German accent. And she just kind of made me think of a female Freud. She might have been nice, but sometimes the accent makes you feel like it's just kind of stern. But she says, all right, if you're not going to take my advice, and her advice was to join this online community. Well, I had been watching it and watching the traffic on the online community, and very few people were going there. It was such infrequent posts. And I said, oh, okay, I'll do it. And it made me feel more alone. I did meet two quite lovely people who, when I must have frightened them because I just stopped going there. Because every time I'd log in, it would have a number count. It would tell you like how many people are logged in. And this is an organization that's supposed to service the world. And I'd be the only person. And it made me feel even more isolated. So I just stopped. Well, two people, they figured out because I had posted enough information, they figured out how to get a letter to me through the funeral director. And I've since been emailing them and let them know I'm still trying, and I'm sorry I frightened them. But I'm also receiving notices from the website .pl, that's Poland, other places. Very urgent information for you. I need to have a very private conversation with you immediately. Give me your email and your contact information and your phone, and because I don't want to have this conversation here. And even in my state, something like that, it just put me on guard. So there are people, this is what humanity contains, is people willing to take advantage. They see a vulnerable person and they want to take advantage.